Okay, welcome to FX.GOLDSMITH's weekly breakdown of gold spot versus the US dollar here. Today's date 2023-08-13. Ultimately, the goal here for this video is just to kind of recap what happened last week and the later weeks and give ourselves kind of an analysis and a prediction potentially on the moves that are going to form here for this upcoming week. That's it. So let's dive into it just briefly here, guys. We did get a very strong bearish closure from last week down into the 1912s. We did close below previous weekly's support there around 1916. That being said, zooming out a little bit, looking at the whole picture, we do have these weekly rejections here around the 1905s, 1900s, 1910s, that kind of area. So fairly choppy here. It's looking like even on the weekly time frame, and I know it's a little choppy on the daily and the 4 hour as well. So don't get too excited on this weekly pushing right away. I know typically Sundays may be a bit of a rollover price action from Friday, and lots of time we've seen that continuation happen immediately. But let's just see what price action is telling us. So dropping down to the daily time frame here, what had happened? We got this clean push down on the daily time frame from the 1940s, 1942s. And now we've reached our daily support here, and we've started to form one support here, a low on the daily time frame around the 1910s. So a strong area of support on the daily here. So let's see what price action is telling us. We've already broken the low on Sunday here, Asian session. And obviously the daily doesn't close for another 17 hours, so no closure below on the daily. Already broken the low, so what is the 4 hour going to be telling us then? Just based off the daily here, you guys, I would love to see some form of pullback. I would love to see majority of this wick being filled, maybe even all of it into the 1920s, 1925s, and price action just based on the daily, saying that we can come up to the 1931s. In and around the 25s to the 31s is where I'd be looking for daily rejection and a new daily high to form. So a bullish and a bearish candle forming around here, to give us an indication that we're going to be coming all the way back down with potential for a continuation to the 1900s and even potentially further filling these wicks into the 1890s, 95 areas. But that's going to be later on in this week. Looking at something a little more immediate here, let's take a look at this 4 hour time frame. So I have a few of these zones already mapped up for you guys. Looking left, like I said, pretty choppy here. You have a support, a resistance, like all in these zones. So 4 hours, fairly choppy for these kind of 100 pips. Knowing that we're at this support area, some people are looking for counter trend buys. Not a bad option. If you can start to close, let's say above the 1915s, you have counter trend moves here for 30 pips, easy, maybe 50 pips on a full position here to 1921. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean just because that we close above this zone one that we're overall bullish. You still have to keep in mind the fact that we are heavily bearish, and this is simply a correction phase that we're going through in order to ideally continue down and make new lows. So everything right now until you close above 30, 32, everything right now is counter trend. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, right? You want to see where your biggest, how do I want to say this? Your biggest rejection candles are coming from. So the candles that have the most volume, like these big candles here, right? These big candles, rejection, right? Clean traffic. So 1932, that's ultimately where we can see your furthest pullback. Like I said on the daily, that would make sense with the daily time frame as well. So anything from 1910s to 1930s, those 200 pips, counter trend moves entirely. Obviously, if we can close above these 4 hour highs and reach our target and then continue to create supports here, we're going to be continuing up for a higher pullback. But again, ultimately, we are bearish, so keep that in mind. Counter trend moves above here to the 1920s, 1930s. Keep in mind, over Asian, you can even break it down a little further. You see that we have this zone in here for an intra-session zone. This candle's broken previous high, failed to probably close above. So if you get something that's going to close like so, and then I'm just trying to draw this out for you guys. Close like so, start to break. Right, and a continuation, you could probably expect to see that come all the way down. Right, so and then that would line up very well with creating a new 4-hour high and a weekly flip, et cetera, et cetera. So those are options for you. Ultimately, we just have to wait and see what price action is going to tell us and go from there. So another kind of clue, and not even clue, but a little bit of a Forex tip and something that I'm incorporating into my trading is looking for entries at specific zones. So I'm not necessarily taking impulsive moves just randomly throughout the session. I'm really waiting till we get a full closure above. And if we push with no bottom wick, no retest, that's fine. But I'm looking for sells here. So let me just write this out. So sells here. Oh, right. So I'm looking for sells here if we don't have a closure above this zone, because then I can fully target here at the 1910s. That's 50 pips, right? So that'll give you your best RR. Similarly, even if we close above this and we get some rejection here, I'm looking for sells. First target's going to be down here to see if we can form a support and continuation, start to close above, but that may not be the case. We may come down here to our first target, create new highs, or lower highs, I should say, create kind of a consolidation or rejection zone, and then all the way back down, right? So you have to understand multiple different time frames to really give yourself the best possible edge. So yeah, ultimately sell positions here, 1920, 1915, and we are looking for this push down to the 1900s, 1905s. What else can I say? That's pretty much it, you guys. Just a weekly review. So we are waiting for just a new high on the 4-hour. London session's coming up here, pre-London, in about an hour. So wait for a new high. Expect this to get filled. If we reject at 1915, we could more than likely see a flip and a continuation down. So be ready for that. I will post some things in our Discord channel for tomorrow morning. Try to be a little bit more active for you guys while the session's going on and help you out with the trades that I'm taking as well. And feel free to share your guys' ideas. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. First kind of overall weekly analysis for you guys, and I will try and keep this going. So I appreciate you guys being part of the journey. Awesome. Cheers.